Hello, have you noticed how everybody seems to arrive at the office in the same order? I mean, our hygienist, she would get there first, and you know what was so awesome about her? She got the music going, she opened the doors, she turned on just everything. Coffee, we had the coffee brewing when we walked in. It's like she'd been there for days getting ready for us every morning. And she lived the furthest from anybody in the office. Then I would come in, followed by our doctor, and oh yeah, and then there was Christy. All right, so Christy was the last one in the office, and she was always late. Well, Christy would come running through the door with shoes in one hand, one eye of makeup done, and she always had a reason why she was late. And what was so interesting, see, Christy lived closest to the office out of anybody. Christy was the youngest, she was single, she didn't even have a dog, and she was always late. So that was pretty irritating. I would get so frustrated thinking, why is she getting away with this? Why is she allowed to come in late every day and nothing is said? Well, what's interesting is just like everybody arrives at the same time, everybody leaves at the same time. Anybody else notice that? And, there's always that person that has to get out right at 5 o'clock, and they have a reason why. Well, guess who that person was in our office? Christy. Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. Not only was she the last one in the office, she was the first one to leave. I didn't like Christy. And I looked for all kinds of reasons to justify my feelings about her. So what did I do? Well, I went to the doctor, I complained, said, you gotta do something about this. You need to get someone else in here. This isn't gonna work, okay? Well, he said, oh, but she's the best assistant I've ever had. And besides, patients love her. I can't get rid of her. So that didn't work. So I went to lunch with the hygienist. I complained to her. I got her on my wagon. And she followed right along. So we went to lunch about every day and complained and came back to the office and put on a good face. Well, I don't care how good of an actor or actress you are. They know you've been talking about them. Trust me. Trust me. So here's basically what happened. Since nobody was doing anything about this, we all decided we're just going to show up, do our job. It is what it is. And so one day our doctor, somebody mentioned earlier, went to a CE course. Okay? Came back Monday morning. Guys, I have a great idea. We're going to do the best thing ever. And we're waiting. And in our office, I don't know about you guys, but typically it was about 2 weeks. 2 weeks, whatever the newfangled idea was, it pretty much went away at that point, and we could get back to normal. Okay? So we knew if we just kind of bided our time, bit our tongue, didn't say anything for 2 weeks, we'd be home free. So this newfangled idea, here's what he said. We're going to have an evening huddle. Like, I don't know what that is. And anything with the word evening in it, I had a newborn at the time. And by the way, that newborn is 25 years old today. Emily, happy birthday. So that evening was not something I did at work. Okay? That had nothing to do with work for me. But we begrudgingly went to this evening kumbaya session and wondered what it was all about. And he lines us up. He said, just get in a circle. Don't even sit down. This isn't going to take long. All you have to do is compliment the person to your right for something they did great today. There was a problem. Christy was to my right. So basically, I just told her, hey, good hair. I mean, I don't know what else to say. The next day, end of the day, sure enough, come on, guys, we're going to do our huddle. It was so great yesterday. So I waited and I kind of let everybody else get in their circle to watch and wait and position myself so I wouldn't have to compliment Christy. Then I stepped into the circle. I'm good. I could say all kinds of things about our hygienist. And he said, okay, compliment the person to your left. Dang it. There she was. Yeah. So here's what I discovered after a couple of days is I was going to have to watch her. I was going to have to watch her really close and hope she did some good stuff so I wouldn't look like a fool at the end of the day. And if I could just do that for a couple of weeks, it'd get back to normal, we'd be home free. So I watched Christy, and you know what's crazy? She did this 180, turned into the best team member, was doing all of this awesome stuff. It was amazing. I mean, I couldn't believe it. But if I'm going to be honest with myself and with you guys, Christy didn't do anything different. It was me. Okay, I changed my mindset. See, before I was looking for everything wrong about her to justify my feelings about her, and it didn't work. Okay, it wasn't a good thing. It killed the culture. And when I changed my mindset and decided I was going to look for the good, it was a whole different ballgame. So here's what we discovered. Basically, there were 5 things killing us. One was gossip. You know that I heard a definition the other day of gossip. It was basically discussing negativity with anybody who can't do anything about it. Anybody besides me do that on a daily basis, pretty much? Yeah. I'm working on it, though. I'm working on it. The second thing is we had absolutely no accountability. Okay? No accountability whatsoever. So instead of focusing on creating something great as a team, we were too worried about what everybody else was doing because there was no accountability. And that was frustrating. The other thing that was happening is there was no clear standard. You know, you kind of assume everybody thinks like you. You assume that everybody was raised the same with the same value system and things like being on time, kind of a given. But it's not. We can't assume that everybody thinks like we did. And so there was no clear standard. We were all kind of doing our own thing. Okay? Which leads me to the fourth thing we were doing, which is basically functioning under this silo mentality. Okay? We were all on our own little islands doing our own job, and as long as no one got in our way, we were just basically exchanging time for money. How unfulfilling. I mean, that just really wasn't a whole lot of fun. So here's the other thing that was happening is we weren't communicating. See, we assumed that because we were with each other more waking hours than we were with our own families, that somehow we were communicating. No, we weren't. Absolutely not. Other than negativity, okay? We had no forms for communication. So here's what I want to provide for you today based on the lessons that I was able to learn that helped. And I've created 5 C's in honor of Christy, which, by the way, Christy is an amazing woman today, super high-functioning adult. She has 5 kids, so I don't know if she's on time to everything, but with 5 kids, I'm not sure who would be. But she's amazing. And, you know, these C's, I saw the C's up here, and I thought, they know what I'm going to talk about. They have these C's up here for me, but they're gone. So we'll just pretend they're still here. But basically, here are your 5 C's. Number 1, cut the chatter. Okay? Don't talk to anybody who can't do anything about the challenge that you're having. It serves no purpose. It kills your culture, and it sucks the energy right out of you when all you do is focus on negativity. So cut the chatter. The second thing is you've got to have consequences. What would it be like if I raised my kids, my 25-year-old today, happy birthday again, with no consequences? What would that be like? Okay? I mean, people need consequences. They need boundaries. They need to know what's expected. And if we don't have consequences for behavior that's not contributing to the vision and the culture, positive culture of the practice, there's a problem. There's a problem. All right, then we have to have clarity. A really good friend of mine recently shared this with me, and I thought, oh my gosh, that's perfect. He said, clarity creates unity. Okay, if there's not clarity as far as what's expected, where we're headed, what success looks like in our practice, if there's not clarity there, I mean, there's not going to be unity. We're going to have that silo behavior. Then we've got connect. You have to connect. We started the day together, and we ended the day together, which was amazing. Communication. We created forums for communication. We have to have a time where we do that. Weekly team meeting, that's what we did. That was our vision session. That was our time to connect. I want to challenge you to incorporate those 5 things. And when you do, you're going to create something with each other instead of in spite of each other. I'm Amy Drury. Thank you.